Hello once again, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars unboxing show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, with another Star Wars Daddy unboxing. That's right. This is like my... I think I have made literally 5, maybe 6 now, purchases through either his eBay auctions or just reaching out to him directly through his membership perks. And he has delivered once again, literally. And we have a very huge box here with a few different items in it. So again, full disclosure. Okay, first of all, I want another huge show. We've been like, we're like in the Mutual Admiration Society. I just sent a bunch of Darth Tuba merch to Michael at Star Wars Daddy, and it was his birthday. I didn't even realize that. So again, happy birthday. This is belated. This video we won't see this video for a few weeks, but so if you go back a few weeks to Star Wars Daddy, you can check out him unboxing some of stuff that I sent him for giveaways, along with a bunch of Star Wars merch or Darth Tuba merch, you know, like buttons and pins and stuff. If you watch my sale video, you can see that I had all that up for sale as well. So I, have been just really excited about his auctions. He basically runs, it's kind of cool, and it's something that I think eventually I might start trying to dip my toe into. I might actually reach out. I think I want to fly out to, he's on the other side of the country, but I might fly out to where he lives, get together with him one day, take him out to dinner and say, okay, what do you do? How do you do this? What's the process? Because I've done eBay. I've done eBay lots of times. I was pretty good with eBay. I've done YouTube, but he ties them together in such a cool way that I really, really think is awesome. So I am looking to try to do that. So eventually, but that's a after when my teaching career is over. So it's a couple of years down the road. But anyway, so full disclosure, what I have been doing since the sale that I had in late June, which was very successful. In fact, today at the day of recording, I even sold a bunch more stuff post sale. So like 2 months later almost to a buyer, and it was great. Now again, I don't make a ton of money. This is not the point of this. This stuff I'm not a seller. I'm not a dealer. I'm a collector. But I need to make room and I need to consolidate. And I've been getting more into, restricted basically 3 things. Vintage collection. What I mean is original vintage, 70s and 80s toys and other artifacts from that era. Filling gaps and things of that nature of my collection. The VC, vintage collection, figures and play sets and vehicles, because of the box and figure packaging, looks like the 70s and 80s. And then lastly is the Disney Star Wars crossover. Not every single thing, but pick and choosing items from the Disney World parks, Disney parks, Galaxy's Edge, Star Tours, gift shop, things like that. Mainly droids, toys, things like that. That's the main area of which I guess I can also say some Hallmark ornaments from time to time too as well. That's my main collection, but I have a lot more than that. So I am slowly just moving it out, putting it out in the sale year by year. I only have the time to do it once a year. I've toyed around with going to a flea market. I have yet to pull the trigger on that. I've been to the flea market close to here that's called the Golden Nugget, and there seems to be some action there. Not a huge amount. So I'm going to try to get out there at some point over the next couple of days early and see what it's like it's 7 a.m., 6 a.m. And if I see that it's pretty busy, I might try to set up a booth or a table myself, over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to see how that goes. But full disclosure, as I keep trying to say, these items that I purchased, either A, they are, or one, they are for my collection. There are items that I haven't, either I don't have and I'm filling the collection, or the one that I do have is in less, not quite as good condition as the one I purchased. So I can keep trading up. And when I do trade up, the one that I'm replacing goes into the box for the sale next year. Number 2, a straight out flip. Not necessarily to make a profit, really just to have a lot of vintage 70s and 80s Star Wars items loose at my sale next year, so that I can entice a lot of people to come out to the sale and check things out and maybe make some purchases. Again, I tack pretty much the same price I paid, maybe a few dollars more but it's very, very reasonable. So I pass the savings I'm getting from Star Wars Daddy and other eBay blog buyers onto anybody else who's interested. And then the third thing is that sometimes I pick up some pieces of stuff to either try to put together vehicles piecemeal and sell, or keep, or customize vehicles and playsets, and do some customizations if they're just, not, if they're incomplete. That's another option. So enough talk. It's been about 5 minutes. Let's get into this. All right. So again, you can follow Star Wars Daddy. You can just do a search for Star Wars Daddy on YouTube. He's awesome. He gives me shout outs week after week. So I am so happy to do the same. All right. We have, did I get it? I missed it. I missed the thing. My box cutter here. I got to get the box cutter that Star Wars Daddy uses too, by the way. It's really good. Oh, I see. Okay. We'll see. My blade is falling apart. All right. All right. So we got some cool items here. All right. First off, we've got, see if I can get this. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I am a sucker for the micro collection, or the micro, the Star Wars micro collection that came out in the 80s. Again, this is a 1982, I believe is the year on this. Could be 83, but looking for, here we go. Want to get the exact year. 1982. Yes, it is this series that Kenner put out. Basically 1-inch little figurines, obviously static, no POA, points of articulation, that's POA. And they're kind of like Army Men, but metal, like die-cast metal, and about 1 inch big. And these little play sets, okay? And I love the box. Again, it's vintage. It's a vintage box style. Now, here's the thing. I have this. This is what they would do, because these sets were not very big. So what they would do, they had a series of Hoth playsets, a series of Bespin playsets, and a series of Death Star playsets. And what they would do is they would sell them separately. You could get I think Hoth had 3 sets, Bespin had 3 sets, Death Star had 2 sets, and you could get in this case, the 2 different sets separately. Or you could also purchase, or instead, you could purchase kind of like a gift pack of the world. So it could be a Hoth world, Bespin world, Death Star world, which is 2 sets. So this has literally 2 play sets in one. Okay, it's got the trash compactor and the Escape from Death Star play sets. And included in it are, and they usually have a picture here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 14 of the little figurines. Okay, so he said it was complete, I believe. So I don't know if I'm going to show. Maybe I'll take a quick peek at it, but let's just put it down for now, and I will come back to that because I want to show the other items here. Okay, we also have this one. This is also an awesome item. This is, now, he mentioned on my last on his video that I have an absolute love affair with the 12-inch posable figures that came out in 1978. Okay, these are the 12-inch figures. I have them all. There are, I believe, let's see, what do we have? We have Luke, Han, Leia, R2-3PO, and then we have Chewie, and then we have Darth Vader, and then we have a Stormtrooper, and then we have a Jawa, and then we have Ben Kenobi, I'm up to 10, and then we have IG-88 and Boba Fett. I think so. They believe there are 12. Some would count Yoda. There was a little Yoda that was like an magic 8-ball. You could shake it. He was static. You can shake him, and then you have like a little thing on the bottom that would like a magic 8-ball. Some people put Yoda in the mix there, but he's not really that part of it. So I believe there are 12. I have all 12, but they're incomplete. I only had 3 growing up, and then I found the rest of them over the years in yard sales and stuff. But I have none of the boxes, or I had none of the boxes. So thanks to Star Wars Daddy, I've been slowly building up a box collection. Now, these are not the best boxes, okay, by his own admission. None of them have tops. I'm not exactly sure why the tops are missing, but they seem to always be. But I kind of lost my shot. He had a couple of better quality boxes, but I already have the Luke, so I wasn't really into doing anything with it. So this is an incomplete Luke. It's a decent Luke, though. So I might compare and contrast. I do believe I have a complete Luke. So I'm going to basically take the best Luke and put him in the box and put the box on display, and then take whatever Luke I'm not keeping and put that in the sale. So again, the box isn't the great, but I just love the box art. I'm really into it. And again, especially Star Wars. Empire, I kept a few of the boxes. You can look back here. Some of these are boxes from when I was 10, when Empire Strikes Back came out. And then the Jedi, I kept almost all of the boxes. So it's really just Star Wars that I'm slowly trying to get back. All right. So we also have, if I can get this baby out. Okay. Remote controlled R2. Now, full disclosure, already have it. Okay. So, but I don't have it complete. Now, this is mostly complete. The only thing I believe he said was missing was the antenna. That is a very common thing to be missing. It's because kids back in the day, before Bluetooth, radio-controlled cars were great, but they required very long, dangly wires, not wires, but like antennas that were these metal things that would just kind of bounce back and forth. And they were very, very easy to lose because you would unscrew them from the device, and then, to store your toy in a toy box or whatever, oftentimes they might break off, or you take them out and then you'd lose them. So this is a pretty great box, though. I mean, it is a full-size box, right? It's got everything. I have a box over here, but it's missing like half of it. So I will replace this with that one. And I do believe he said it was working, although I'm not 100% sure if he said it was working or not. Again, without the antenna, I don't know how much working it can be. So that's going to be a fun hunt, is to try to search for an antenna. Maybe I'll find one, or maybe I'll end up finding a complete R2 with an antenna and just put the rest of them out in the sale. So that's cool. We also have another, I'm going to keep this in the baggie for now, an incomplete. This is a die-cast Y-Wing fighter. If you watch my previous, I think I did a short where I took I took a bunch of mini rigs out in a short video, and this was, I think it was among those. So pretty cool vehicle. It's supposed to come with a bomb. That's the part that everybody loses. It's like losing the weapons or accessories. But again, it's these are, I can't remember. Some of these were purchased ahead of the auctions, and some of them were purchased during the auction. And as I've said on the press, I'll keep repeating, I think he's getting more popular because it is worth going on to his channel, not his channel, his eBay store, during the last hour of his auctions. It is worth seeing the sniping that goes in. Like, watch, set everything, like, sort them by items listed, finishing soonest, and then go through them, and you will see like that price just keep refreshing. Even if you don't want any of them, it just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping, and people try to wait to that last 10 seconds, and boom, they hit a high number to try to get that. So a figure might be like a $10 figure, a $15 figure, and then bam, goes up to like $40 in like 1 second. It's kind of fun to watch. So check out his videos, or his eBay, and his videos, but check out his eBay auctions. They're always at the very end of the day, Eastern Standard Time. I'd say between 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. He seems to keep listing. It looks like he has it all ready for the next one, and he just, as soon as he does about 100 auctions a week. Most of his stuff sells, but sometimes he doesn't. So you might look and see something that has no bids, and it might be I think for an item that comes with a box that's working, it's complete or mostly complete, I think he has very reasonable prices. He's very fair with what he charges. And one thing I will say about eBay that I like is that, eBay is the great equalizer, right? It is, what is it worth to the people that want it, right? And they fight over it, and whoever wants to pay the most, will get it. I think that's fair, versus going to a toy show. And I've been to a lot of toy shows, folks, and I see people putting these items up on the wall on their little, their little shelf that they bring and they set up, and I'm looking at it, and it says, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, $900, $1,000, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's mint. I'll give him that. Maybe it's for a very near mint or mint in box, no untouched, brand new looking vehicle or figure or what have you, but it just seems a little bit higher priced. Maybe they're looking to have people bundle, I don't know, but it just feels a little off to me. All right, we got a loose item here. I think you can tell by what I'm holding. We have two TIE Fighters, TIE Fighter twin ion engine, followed by huh. That's interesting. I gotta look up what that is for, but okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Let me get it all set up here. Yep. TIE Fighter. I might actually replace my own original TIE Fighter with this. But I just love, I mean, it is funny when you think about the fact that this, of all of the vehicles, I don't say all of the vehicles, but many of the vehicles, this one is the least like the original because the wings should be bigger. And they have made, Hasbro, to their credit, has made better ones. I mean, in terms of more accurate. But, to the nostalgic one in me, this is my TIE Fighter. And they did create a grayish one, a bluish one, and with battle damage and stuff, and I have them all. But this is a really nice one. It's in decent shape. It's a little bit off colored, but not too bad. So I don't know yet if I'm going to put this one in the sale or if I'm going to replace my old one and put my old one in the sale. But there it is. He actually sold me a couple of boxes. One of them was a TIE Fighter box, so that was cool too. So that is awesome. Okay, how are we doing here? All right, got a few more items here. We got this one's purely for the sale, for the resale. This is the Battle Command Electric. Sorry, no, wrong one. Star Wars Electric Laser Battle Game. And if I'm not mistaken, judging by the photos, I got to look through this and make sure that whichever one is the most complete will stay in the collection, and whichever one is a little bit less complete will go out for a reasonable price. So, and again, kids, these are very basic digital games. If for young people, if you ever watched Guardians of the Galaxy or Avengers, I guess it's Infinity War, okay, and where Groot is sitting there playing a game and it's like real basic with a little red dot, that's essentially the level of technology that these games were. So they're not all that exciting to play. It's kind of a speed game, and you gotta, there's like a little race, and the dots go up, and you gotta press before a certain thing, and the coolest part of it is that, the tones that are in there will eventually play the little Star Wars theme, and in the height of 1970s technology, that was really cool. These days, not so much, but it is still cool for a nostalgic feel, and it's got all of the cool racing stripe on it, so that's good. All right. Oh, this one's awesome. And I gotta look and see. I don't know if I have this. I don't recall if I do. I know I have the toy, but we have this. We have the Scout Walker vehicle, but an Empire Strikes Back box. It's a pretty decent box. I mean, it's got some scuff and wear and tear on the top, but I always told, and when I told Star Wars Daddy, when I'm looking for boxes, I just need one good side. And this one's got two good sides, okay? And not to mention the sides of each of those. So really cool. It does include the vehicle, and the vehicle will more than likely find itself out in the sale. Again, I'll check it. I'll check it out comparatively to the... Put this down here for now. It's pretty good. Looks like it's complete. It's got its guns. It's got the flaps. What's cool about, and again, for those that maybe don't have it, this has two things. You have a stand mode where you rest it and the feet are equal apart. But then on the back, there's a little lever that you can switch it to walk mode, and then you press a button on the back and it looks like it's walking. Doesn't really quite match up to what it does but it's a still cool effect. One thing I have learned is that when you want to line it back up, you got to place it on its feet flat to do that. All right. So again, that'll find its way in the sale. All right, we are almost done, folks. A couple of other items, but before I get to those items, let me just put this box over there. We have another die-cast item. Oh my, this one, poor thing. This is an X-wing with its little cannon things are a little bit off kilter there, but make sure that stays shut. Okay, this is the die-cast vehicle, right? And again, so we have the Y-wing, which is right here, and the X-wing. And I love the die-cast vehicles. I've been trying to bid on these occasionally, and other places I've found these still on the card. Those are as hard to get on the card. These don't run too much loose. In fact, I think these run on well, I wouldn't say they run cheaper than the figures, but but they're comparable to the figures. But to try to get them on the card, with a little bubble on them, that is unbelievable. It's they just skyrocket in price. Star Wars Daddy does or did have the cards, okay, without, not with the figure, but not figures, but with the vehicles not on them, and just the cards, and people would still buy them. I picked up one or two of them, I think. So, and then I only got a couple of figures in the auction, not too many. Okay, we got the Imperial. I said this is the Hoth. It's General Veers, so it's like Hoth Imperial Commander, right? Generally speaking, his auctions for figures tend to be complete. Okay, sometimes if it's a figure that had multiple accessories, he might sell one loose, partially complete, that kind of thing. But generally, they are complete. And this is what I'm really excited about. This is Han Solo with his blaster. And the funny thing is, and what people are starting to pick up on, is that a lot of these figures, if you see certain figures go for crazy amounts, for example, there's a Princess Leia, the white, vinyl caked Princess Leia. That figure is by itself maybe a $10 to $14, $15 to $20 figure depending on condition. But if it includes the blaster, that figure skyrockets to like an $80 figure, maybe even $100. I've seen as high as $150 if it's a good condition figure, loose. But it's that blaster, because I think in the Star Wars movie that was the only figure that had that type of blaster. There were a few figures that had blasters like this one. There are a few figures in Empire Strikes Back that have blasters like this one, but that long-barreled Princess Leia blaster, only Leia. I think Hoth Leia had it in the second movie, so it's not the most rare, but it's pretty rare. So these will go right into the resell, okay? And that is that. Now, before I call it, I know it's we're already at the 22-minute mark, but before we go, I do want to show you the Death Star world. And the reason I want to show you Death Star world is because I don't know why there is not more of a love for this. I know that at the time there was, this was Kenner trying their hand, and this is what toy companies do. Hasbro has been doing it for years. I mean, right now I can show you this. I'll probably show this on a future episode, but they have this type of figure, the Power of the Force figure, and these are not quite 3 3/4 inches. They're more like 4 or 5 inch figures, so they're not fully compatible. They have the Black Series. They've had Galactic Heroes. They've had all different sizes, and not to mention Galoob, which has had like the micro series, which are like less than an inch. So, toy companies will try. They'll throw a lot of things at the wall to see what sticks. I'm sorry if you're seeing flashing. My light is acting really weird. Anyway, so this was Kenner just making an attempt. There really wasn't a lot up until that point. They just stuck to the 3 3/4 inch and the 12 inch, like the Luke one I showed you, right? That 12 inch didn't really take off, so they didn't continue it for Empire Strikes Back. But during Empire Strikes Back, or after Empire first came out, right but before Jedi, they wanted to introduce this. Now, ironically, the one I'm showing you is not it's not an Empire one. Since it came out during the Empire years, they had Hoth and they had Bespin. They also had an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, a Snowspeeder, the Millennium Falcon, which you might have seen me unbox from Star Wars Daddy on a previous video. But this one, what was cool about this is that you could get the entire world, right? You didn't need. I'm gonna just do a little bit here. So you had a little mini playset like this, but it had some cool play features. It had the trash compactor, right? It had the little sliding door here that goes open, and you can see, you can make it actually like spring shut. You have a little seat there. You have an elevator here. It's really. Do I have an elevator? Wait a minute. How do I make the elevator? Oh, maybe you have to. I don't know if you know what? The elevator might be missing something. All right. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a little slide thing on the side, but that's all right. And it's nice little simple playset, right? And then that's not the only playset. There's a whole other playset, and that's this one. Now this one looks a little simpler, but this is actually 2 parts. This is the one section, and then hopefully, yep, there it is. Here's the other section, and this one does also have an elevator. Okay, and you pull that one out to go there. And then you put them together. kind of like this. And it's got a few other pieces here, okay? So, yep, there's some more pieces. So I'm not going to put the whole thing together. But it's just a nice little play set. And then you got all of these really cool figures. And I will say this, full disclosure, they are metal. So if you're not careful, they can scratch and the paint can get taken off. Here's Obi-Wan, right? So it's just a cool, I don't know, I always thought it was really, really neat. Now, having said that, personally, I really did this in an effort to collect the box. That's what I wanted. I already have each of these individual playsets. So I'll probably put them into larger Ziplocs each and, separate the figures that are for each. I got to look that up. And then I will put them into the sale. I also collected a whole bunch of other figures that were part of just a lot of seriously like 30 of these figures. We're going to hear my dryer go off now. So I'm going to put them in there. But the box, I am going to keep separate. And I have a space. I'm hoping I can put the box right in my display. I'm trying to update that. I don't know if I'm going to film everything about updating my displays, but I'm really looking to get some glass displays all lined up and put as much vintage stuff in there, 70s and 80s as possible. So, whew! All right. So that will do it for this episode. I keep saying Darth Tuba. That's who I am. Star Wars Daddy. I mean, knocked it out of the park again. And again, it's it's not a one-sided thing. I mean, I pay him both money separately outside of eBay auctions, and I take part in eBay auctions. And but what happens is if you join his membership, he's got 3 tiers. He's got Little Daddy, Daddy, and Big Daddy. The Daddy and Big Daddy, the middle and top tier. I forget the exact cost. It's like it might be like somewhere between like $8 or $9 or $10 and $15 or $10 and $20 a month. But the thing is this: if you are intending to purchase items through him, because if you're someone who wants to build a vintage 70s and 80s collection, loose collection, he's a great way to start. He has reasonable prices. Yes, the auctions could go crazy. Some of the more highly sought out figures will run more. But if you become a member, he will show you the items that he has purchased in bulk that he's planning on putting out on sale through eBay. But if you watch that video and you send him an email and say, "Hey, Star Wars Daddy, I'd really be interested in that Death Star world that like I did," and he said, "Oh, sure, man, it only costs da 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 da," and then great, and then he tacks on shipping, but he gives a discount for shipping. And if you buy figures like individual figures on his eBay auction, he will waive shipping. And I'm paraphrasing some of this. So I believe he will waive a lot of shipping, okay? Particularly for figures, because figures are inexpensive to ship. So he swallows that cost. So you can make whatever you pay monthly. If you're going to buy a lot of stuff over the year, you can make back the membership money like in a handful of auctions. And if you're buying like a bunch, you'll make it back in one sale. So it's so worth. I'm talking about a year's worth of membership. So it's so worth it if you're gonna be buying a lot. He also does separate videos that only members can see, and he shouts out to everybody who's won. It's really, really cool. So check him out, Star Wars Daddy. I know I say it a lot. I'll probably have more videos because I just won another set of auctions and made some purchases, and he's going to be sending that my way. So I'm almost caught up. I keep joking with him that, all right, I think I'm done. I gotta, I'm running, my budget's running low, and then something else comes up. I'm like, oh, but I really want that. And it is, a lot of times it'll come up something that I have not seen. Like this, I have not seen Death Star World. I've seen them individually, but not the world. That's a harder one to get. So, mission accomplished. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. All my other content, like, subscribe, leave comments, keep the conversation moving. The more activity we do like that, the more likes, the more shares, all that just gets more people to see the channel. I do not have yet a Patreon or a membership tier. It is all free for me because I'm not offering stuff like that other than, letting you know when my sale is again, end of June, 2026. And that's, that's not a huge, if you don't live nearby me, if you're not within a 100-mile radius of where I'm filming, it doesn't make much sense. So no, but spread the word about the channel, and it makes other people get to see it. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Star Wars Daddy, for continued awesome interactions and transactions, and I look forward to more of them. Until next time, everyone, may the Force and the toys be with you.